Hello! Welcome to another episode of Love and Stuff, where we talk about love.
And stuff.
And we are here to talk about a question.
Well, first let's get into our sponsors.
Yes, talk about our sponsors.
Yeah, so our first sponsor is the Tourism and Commerce Board of Croatia.
Oh yeah, what did the Croatians have to say this time?
You know, they didn't email me this week.
They're slipping.
They are. In fact, I don't even know if they're still sponsoring us.
Well, I mean, last week they said, last episode they said, what's up?
Yeah, I feel like the guy who's in charge of this over on their end is just sort of calling it in lately.
Right. Maybe he's having fun in Croatia.
Yeah.
There's all that stuff to do in Croatia.
He's hitting the Rocky a bit hard.
Maybe he's eating that salmonella-free chicken.
Yeah.
Maybe he's hanging out in the free landmine-free zone.
Yep. Swimming in the Adriatic.
Maybe he's just having fun.
Yeah.
Maybe they're taking their advice. But if you missed it in the last episode, we also talked about how the president of Croatia, she would like you to move there.
Yes.
So if you, like I keep saying, if you're sick of him, go and check out Croatia.
Oh yeah, him.
Yeah.
In reference to the American guy.
Yeah.
Then go to
Yeah,
Croatia.
because we're not political.
Right, we're not political. But
Right.
go to Croatia, where their president is a quite lovely woman.
Right. And she will let you move there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we are going to get into our question for this podcast. And our question comes from Lisa in Tallahassee, Florida.
Tallahassee.
Tallahassee.
You know, that's the capital of Florida.
Is it?
I don't know.
I always thought it was Tampa or Orlando.
No, I think Tallahassee is the capital. But
Anyway.
I'm not sure.
Lisa in...
Hey, Lisa, write us back. Is Tallahassee the capital of Florida?
Yes, let us know.
In fact,
Anyway,
anybody in Florida can let us know.
Yes.
Or anybody
Unless
who's
you're
not
Florida,
in Florida
unless you're Florida
who's aware
man.
of this.
Unless you're Florida man.
Yeah, Florida man probably doesn't even know what the capital of Florida is.
Right, he's probably running around in Florida with his shirt off somewhere,
Yeah.
getting chased by cops.
Probably thinks it's Orlando. It's in the Epcot Center.
Right, he's probably just chilling at the Epcot Center.
Yeah.
Being Florida man.
Yeah.
Being a diabolical villain.
Yeah, smoking bath salts.
Yeah. Smoking bath salts. Anyway, Lisa in Tallahassee wants to know. We're getting a lot of female questions too, which is nice.
It's nice.
I think the males might be afraid to ask us questions.
Well, we've had men ask questions as well. It's nice that we have both genders bringing
Right.
it in.
It is nice.
Yeah,
I would concur. See, I used a fancy word there.
concur. It's
Concur.
very nice.
Anyway, Lisa in Tallahassee wants to know, she has, her and her boyfriend have been on and off again for about 2 years. She finally wants to be done with said relationship, but feels like every time she has broken up with him in the past, she has not made her intentions clear.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the best way to break up with somebody without them coming back?
Okay. Well, Lisa in Tallahassee, I'm going to get into this.
Get into it.
I'm gonna get
'Cause
into
I got
this.
my opinions on this too.
Yeah, I have some direct experience here.
You do?
I do.
Oh, you do?
I do. And
You
this
got that
is...
story.
Yeah, and
That's
this...
a good story.
This, Lisa, and everybody else out there, this is probably the worst way to break up with somebody.
But it's a good story.
But yeah, but also if you want to make sure that they're never going to come back,
This is the way to do it.
This is effective. So
Is this that story, the Valentine's story?
Yeah, so-
Oh yeah, that's good.
yeah, Valentine's Day 2009, I was living with my then girlfriend, who I had come to despise.
How long were you living with her?
Not that long, just like maybe 4 months,
How long were you guys together before you started living together?
a year, with a break somewhere in there.
That isn't bad. I mean, most people wait a year, maybe two, before they move in together.
Yeah.
So it's better than being with her for like 2 months and then moving her in.
Yeah.
Or you moving in with her.
Or like 6 weeks and then
Or
you
like
get
6
married.
weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like 6 weeks and get married. Or like a month and you have a kid 9 months later.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's better than any of that.
Yeah,
so.
it is. But anyway, after we moved in together, it wasn't long before I came to despise her.
Now, did you start despising her because you moved in with her and realized that she was a slob, or did you start?
No, because I'm as slobby as slobs get.
Right.
So I can't judge a slob, though she was one. But I'm not going to judge. This is a no judgment zone, even though she was a freaking slob. I was sloppier.
Right.
And but no, I came to despise her because it turned out we really weren't good together. Like when we were living separately, but we would get together to have sex.
Right. It was all fun and games.
It was all fun and games.
Right. Which usually is like that.
Yeah, and we thought we were in a relationship, but really we were.
See, this is why you always need to have that conversation.
Yeah. Anyway, so Valentine's Day, 2009. So I was like, it's Valentine's Day. I should be romantic. Maybe I've come to despise this lady, but it's time to turn a new leaf.
You should try to turn over a new leaf.
It's time to turn over a new
leaf.
leaf.
Being all noble and doing the right thing.
See if I can bring the spark back into the relationship.
Right.
See if I can, give this thing a jump start.
Look at you trying to stick it out.
Yeah.
Most guys would have gone by now.
We'll get to that
You're
part.
trying to stick it out, and you're trying to do the right thing. So there you are. Here we are. We're Valentine's Day. What'd you do?
So it's Valentine's Day, and as I mentioned already, we were both slobs. So the apartment was filthy. But I was like, you know what?
Was the apartment anything? Did the apartment look like anything like the inside of your car?
The apartment looked much like the inside of my car.
Because the inside of your car, man, every time I sit in that passenger seat in the inside of it's horrible. I feel like something's gonna bite me.
Yeah.
You know what it feels like sometimes? You ever seen that episode in Star Wars where they go into the dumpster in Star Wars?
Yeah. Episode 4, A New Hope.
Yeah, and they're like swimming around. That thing comes, starts swimming around, and grabs Luke.
Yeah, the tentacle monster with the eye.
Yeah. I almost feel like every time I put my feet in your passenger side, one of those things is going to wrap around my feet and I'm going to get sucked into your car and do a new world.
It's entirely possible.
Which would kind of be cool, but
it
would be weird at the same time.
That would be weird.
Right.
That would actually be really weird, especially because that monster doesn't exist.
Right. But maybe your car actually leads people into a new dimension.
That's possible. Anyway, we have digressed.
Yeah, like we do.
So Valentine's Day 2009, I'm like, I'm going to do something romantic. She was off at work.
Right.
I'm like, okay, so I'm going to clean the apartment. So I cleaned the apartment, made it spick and span.
Good for you.
And then I was like, so I'm going to set up like, a table, like a red tablecloth with some roses and some ribbons.
Go it all out. Look at that. Go it all out.
And then I'm going to cook her a fancy dinner and there's going to be candles and it's going to be great.
God damn.
Yeah. So I set up the table and I got the roses and everything. And then I go out to do the whole getting food for the fancy dinner.
Right.
And while I'm out, I get a call from a friend of mine. And we're talking. And in this conversation, I just sort of decided, no, here's what happened. I was telling him how I'm really not fond of this lady anymore. And he said, you should just move in with me. Just, I got a room, just come in, move in with me. And I was like, you know what? Fuck yeah. I should just move in with Jim. So I decided right then and there, I'm just going to move in with Jim. And I forgot about this whole turning over a new leaf, making a romantic evening, all that. I'm just going to leave and move in with Jim. I forgot about making dinner and everything.
Right.
So I get home that night with no food because I had forgotten about it at that point.
Right.
And I'm going to leave my ex-girlfriend's name out of it, but I get there and she's home from work and I say, listen, honey, baby, doll, listen, I'm moving out. I'm just going to pack a bag and go. I'll see you later. And
forgetting that you had already set up this nice thing for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, so I give her my little speech, and it really was, I'm moving out, I'm just going to pack a bag and go. And then I look around the apartment, and I remember, and I'm like, oh yeah, I was turning over a new leaf today. I forgot about that. But it's a little late at this point.
Right.
So
I take it she did not take that very well.
No, I packed my bag and I left, and she did not take that well at all.
Right, because she comes home to a nice clean apartment set up for supposed Valentine's Day.
And she's probably like, oh, he does care about
Right,
me.
what a romantic
Yeah.
guy. And then you just fucking annihilate her heart.
Yeah, like no warning or anything. I'm moving out.
Yeah, you just annihilated her.
I didn't even break up with her. I was just, I'm out of here.
Right, I'm
Peace.
done.
Yeah.
I'm done. Let me out of here. So that would not be an appropriate way to break up with somebody.
No, that's a terrible way to break
And
up
how
with
much
somebody.
drama did that cause to you after you walked out?
Almost none.
Really?
Yeah.
Because
Because
I figured she would yell at you a few times.
no, because at that point, and this is why it gets to Lisa's question about the best way to break up with somebody and make sure they don't come back.
Right.
I pissed her off so badly that she was done with me. She showed up to my work and was like, listen, man, this is because I had neglected to break up with her. So she showed up to my work. She's like, listen, man, it's over.
I figured you moving out was a good indicator that it was over.
No, well, yeah, but she clarified it.
Okay. So she had to be the one to be the dumping.
Yeah, I imposed that on her too.
Yeah. Way to go.
Yeah, so she's like,
You're
listen.
just a champ.
I was a real gentleman. She's like, listen, man, it's over. You're gonna keep paying rent until I find a new place to move because I can't afford this place. And I said, okay, that's fair, because I'm not a complete asshole.
Right.
I'm not gonna get her evicted and homeless. You know.
Right.
I said, okay, that's fair. But no, there was no getting back together.
And she never talked to you again.
No, that's not true. She called me one night, a couple of weeks later. She had found a new place. No, it was a couple of months later. She had found a new place, and she had just moved in. And she called me, and we just talked for a while, and I was kind of horny because I hadn't been laid since we broke up.
Oh, Jesus.
And I was like, hey, how about I come over? You sound kind of lonely. How about I come over? And she was having none of that.
Good for her.
Yeah, good for her.
Good for her.
Yeah. So Lisa, if you want to make sure it's over with your gentleman friend, don't a couple months down the line be like, hey, you want to hang out?
And see, this is the problem in the second part of her question. In the first part of her question, she had mentioned that they had been together for 2 years, but she had broken up with him twice.
Yeah.
So this is the problem a lot of people have, that once a relationship is done, for some reason they always feel like there's a need to try it again. I don't come from that school.
I don't come from that school, but it hasn't stopped me from doing that.
Yeah, but see, I've never done that.
Good for you.
Right? Every time a relationship's been over, it's been over. Whether I've gotten dumped, which has happened quite a bit, more than I'd like to admit.
Yeah.
Whether I've done the dumping, I have never gone back, because there's a reason why that relationship didn't work out. There is a reason why your relationship isn't working out.
Yes, Lisa.
So maybe my suggestion is just finally tell him, like, hey, look, this ain't ending well. This isn't going well. We just need to end this and go our separate ways. If he doesn't get it, if he's some psycho dude, get yourself a restraining order. Do what you got to do, but get out.
Yeah.
So that's what I would tell her. Well, that's what I'm telling her.
Yeah.
So, if he's mellow,
Then
but if it's
you probably don't have to worry about the restraining order if he's just chilling.
But if it's you going back to him after you break up with him and you realize 2 months down the line that you want him back, then maybe you think you can't find anybody better than him. And I'm here to tell you there's probably a dozen guys better than him.
There's a lot of fish in the sea, Lisa.
Yes. And you could always find a better person than somebody that you have an on-again, off-again, on-again, off-again relationship with for 2 years.
Yeah, and Tallahassee's a big, medium-sized city.
Big, medium-sized city.
Yeah, with plenty of people in it.
Yes. And I've seen some of the women in Tallahassee, and there's some good-looking women in Tallahassee. So I'm assuming that Lisa is not half bad looking.
Wait. You're assuming because there are good-looking women in Tallahassee,
I am.
Lisa must be a good-looking woman?
Yes.
Shayne, there are good-looking women everywhere.
Yeah, but
that doesn't mean any given woman you talk to
is... It's different in Florida. It's like good-looking women to ugly women in ratio in Florida is like 1 to 12. For every 12 good-looking women, maybe you'll find one like not so good-looking woman.
I don't know.
See, I've been to Florida before. I've seen it with my own eyes.
No,
I think it's the oranges.
I've been to Florida too. That was not my experience, but whatever.
Maybe you were in the wrong part of Florida.
I was in southern Florida, and you know what? It's just like any other place I've been. There are people of every looking area. They run the whole
But
range.
see, now you're gonna go judgy on me because I said there was good-looking women in Tallahassee.
No, I'm getting judgy on you because you said for every 13 people, 12 of them are good looking, and
12
one of them
to
is
one.
bad looking.
Yes.
And I say there are a lot of moderate
Because
looking
there's
people.
because in Tallahassee, if I'm correct, there is a college in Tallahassee, and wherever there's a college town, you know,
There's a college in Kentfield, California.
there's a lot of good-looking women at that college,
And there are also a lot of
we
really
don't- we
medium
don't need
looking
to-
and
we don't need
really
to go
not
there.
great looking women.
right? Because you know what,
Same with the guys, by the way.
you know what, that
all
college,
sorts of
that,
looking
that college
people.
doesn't really count because it's not that smart.
It's not a great school.
No,
No, I've been there. I've attended.
right?
It's not a great school.
No. Anyway, back to Lisa's question in Tallahassee. So, just be clear. I'm not going to tell you or unless you just can't break up with this dude and you guys maybe both get back together because the chemistry's so insanely good. Then you realize 6 months down the road that you guys just don't work out together. Maybe what you need to do is just end it the way Max did and make sure you'll never come back again.
Lisa, just fucking end it. Do you want to end it? Your question makes it very obvious you want to end it.
Right.
And do this face to face, please. None of this calling or texting.
No texting. Texting is the worst.
Or posting on his Facebook page.
Actually, you know what the worst is?
What's the worst?
Messenger, Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Because that's like, dear sir,
Yeah.
thank you for your time, but we are no longer.
Yeah. So
Texting is pretty bad too.
yeah, so set a time to meet up with this guy and just say to him.
Or you could do this, and this happened to a friend of mine. Didn't happen to me, but happened to a friend of mine.
Yes, Mr. Interrupty.
Yes, because I got a story too. You had your story, I have my story.
I was in the middle of a thing, but
Well,
go on.
I got a thing.
Proceed.
Anyway, my buddy and his girlfriend were off and on for about a year. They'd moved in too quick. They both knew the relationship was happening too quick, and but they were too chicken to break up with each other. Mm-hmm. Right? They were too afraid to break up with it till one day. And I'll never forget. It was kind of funny. I felt bad for him, but it was kind of funny. So one day the dude goes to work, and then we were hanging out that night, and I go to drop him off at his house, and all of his shit is packed in front of his house with a note. And the note said, "Here's your stuff. I have had the locks changed.
Oh my gosh.
We are not together anymore. Please do not contact me ever again."
That's just rude.
Yes, but it was effective.
It was effective.
So you could go that route too.
Yeah.
Anyway, you had a thing.
My thing. So, Lisa, meet this guy. Meet him on neutral ground, somewhere relatively private. Maybe a park. A park is ideal. Yeah.
Park bench. Maybe have some backup just in case.
Find a park bench that's kind of away from the kid's birthday party and all that.
Right.
Not a coffee shop, especially not a crowded one.
If you're gonna especially if it's gonna turn into something.
Yeah. Well, no, don't let it turn into something, but I'm going to get to that in a bit. Lisa, find some neutral ground that's relatively quiet and just say to him very clear, "Listen, man, maybe you still like him, but listen, man, this ain't working. We're breaking up. We're not getting back together. And here's the key. No breakup sex." I know breakup sex is great, but no breakup sex.
That's what usually leads people back together again.
I know.
Right? I think that's why I've been good about being able to walk away, is because I've never done the breakup sex.
Yeah. Actually, this girlfriend who I was talking about earlier, we took a kind of a break in our relationship. We had broken up. We had properly broken up.
Right.
And we didn't have breakup sex. And then a few months later, we just sort of bumped into each other.
And it was on.
It was on, and that's when we had breakup sex.
Right.
And it was great. It was mind-blowing. And it
And
was
it gave you that thought. And it gave you that thought that maybe
it was so good we got back together.
See, that's the problem.
Yeah.
That is the problem with breakup sex.
So no breakup sex.
It's not breakup sex. It's like never mind. That's a whole other thing. Anyway, your phone is ringing. I think that's going to end our episode of this podcast right now. Podcast is over. We would again like to thank our sponsors.
The Tourism and Commerce Board of Croatia.
They didn't say anything.
Yeah, and Dave's Lube.
Dave's Lube. Anyway, like and subscribe. Give us a comment on the SoundCloud. Maybe even follow us on SoundCloud.
Yeah, give us a rating or whatever.
And if you got a question, I mean, people are obviously sending us questions. So if you're out there and you got a question, we actually respond to your questions.
Send up a question.
Through the email, through the Instagram, through the Twitter, whatever you got to do, except smoke signals, because we can't make out smoke signals.
Yeah, I mean, you can feel free to do it. We don't know how to read smoke signals.
Right. Anyway, until next time, be good.